Hey tubers, this is Jason. We're about ready to head up to the Maxie Mine to take a look and do some gold mining with my father. So just kind of wanted to show you, we're getting things ready, kind of the stuff that we're going to need. I usually take a quad because the buckets are super heavy when we fill them with material. We have our cart to put the buckets in. That's what we use for gold panning out the material. And then I'll show you some more of it when we get done with the trommel and whatnot. So we're going to take some videos while we're gold mining and put them together and show you guys. Hey guys, me and my dad are on the quad heading up to the mine, and I'm going to have him do a quickie video as we're going up to the mine.
We're going up the mine here. As you can see, it's a little rough getting up there.
Alright, so we're in the Maxie Mine, and what we're going to try to do today is pull out some of this dirt that's down in here, all the clay from when it was washing out. This is the area that, in that last video, that when we were panning, we found a couple nice pickers and some really good flour gold. So we're going to dig all this out, so as we start working up the bank here, we don't carry the gold out on our boots. So we're going to dig down as much as we can, probably fill anywhere between 6 to 8 buckets, and we're going to run that today, everything that's down here, and we might do some picking up here, see if we can find some nuggets. So I'll be back with you.
Okay, we're right here at the mine, and Jason's right down here, and all these cracks and crevices I'm showing you is the absolute natural riffle box we have. And nature's done all our work for us. All we're going to do is clean it up. But we got to get these cracks all cleaned out right here. This is all gold bearing.
Hey tubers, this is Jason here, and what I wanted to show you is what the waterfall here has done to the rock formations and the pockets we're finding, so you can understand how much erosion was done to the actual rocks here and why we're finding the gold in the pockets we're finding. So I'm going to have my dad bring the camera up a little closer, and I'm going to reach in and show you these pockets. So here's a pocket here, and I'm going to bring the camera around. So I want you to see this pocket here was cut in, and and you can see this slope of the rock. This is all one rock here that was eroded away into this slope. I hope you can see that. And then if you get down into the bottom of it, there's a pocket. There's a pocket right in here. You can see, so I get the camera in there, you can see this pocket it built. Well, right there at the tip of my finger is a piece of gold. That's a nice little picker there. And then if you come out, I'm going to come back. You can kind of see the waterfall here and how it poured down and made this enormous pocket with this little sluice in it. So this is just a curved piece of the rock the water eroded away. And then if you get way down in here, here's another pocket. I want to point out some of the gold. Maybe you can see it in the camera. There's a piece of gold right there at my finger. There's a piece of gold right there. And there's a lot of little tiny flakes here. And what you can also see is the shot. Right there, there's some bird shot there. There's a few other little pieces of bird shot, but you can see that the bird shot's intermixed with the gold, and it's because the lead's just about as heavy as the gold is. Then we came up here. I'll pan back. So there's the waterfall coming off the big tree. So you basically have the creek beds coming down over the rock formation, and then this is the waterfall here, and it's pouring down the waterfall, cutting these rocks out and making these great traps for the gold. And if you look in here, there's actually a few little pieces of gold way up under here. I'm gonna look for they're way under here, so they're kind of hard to see, but sorry, my finger was in front of the camera, but they're way under there. And this is I'm going to pan back. So I'm actually under the cliff side here. And as I pan back, you're going to see how far under I was. That was about 12 to 14 inches under this embankment right here. And what it's doing is it's just eroding away that backside, taking the gold, and then coming depositing it right in here, and then into these formations. And the water has just eroded all this rock away and allowing pockets to develop, and that pockets is where it's catching the gold coming off the hillside here. So my dad, we're starting to clean this bucket out. And what we're not cleaning the bucket, but I'm cleaning this riffle. I want you guys to see what I'm doing. I'm back in here digging that riffle out. I put it in the scooper, and then I dump it in the bucket. Well, my dad's just looking in the bucket, and I want to show you guys the lights on it. Here, get it out of the light. I'm going to bring this phone up real close to see. There we go. See the chunk of gold there, chunks of gold in the
clay.
In that clay. I hope you can see it. I'll kind of point it out a little bit better, but that's just coming right out of the bucket. And my dad's just looking in the bucket at the clay we're digging out. But these pockets back in here, and these pockets here and here, are really not just dirt. They're concentrates from the mine, where the water's just sluicing them over. And, you know, we've said that many times, it acts like a riffle in a sluice box. So we might only get a third of a bucket, but that's a third of a bucket of concentrates. So we're going to come work these cracks here, back in here, and then this crack right in here again. And we're going to clean all this out, and we'll be able to tell you what we're getting. All right, guys, so what I wanted to do is bring you into that pocket we were working in. So what I've done is I've cleaned all the way down. It's not as far as I can go, but I cleaned the pocket out quite a bit. We got about covered the bottom of the bucket, and this pocket just keeps going down into a nice round curved, it looks like where the waterfall's just eroded it out, and it just keeps going down. I don't even know where the bottom of that's at. It keeps producing good gold in here, but I'm gonna stop digging this right now and move up here to this crack in here, clean this out, and then come and then clean this crack out. And then from there, we're gonna go clean out where we stand on the mine and fill up some more buckets, probably come out of here with 6-8 buckets. But this is slow going. You can only clear, it's tough. It's tough to even get in the mine and clean this out, but we're getting there. And I'll keep filling you in as we clean out the cracks, but I'm gonna start right here and I'll kind of show you what we're doing.
Here we are, and you can see Jason right there. We have just got digging really as far as we can want to dig right now. There is some incredibly deep pockets in this sandstone that's been eroded for centuries. And I'm going to kind of walk you back in here and give it to Jason, and he can show you all of this progress we've been making.
Okay, so this was the crack I was showing you guys, and I'm going to get really deep down in there. You guys can see what happened. It turned from a crack into, here's the crack we were cutting out. I hope you guys can see in there. The light's terrible, but I'm going to reach in here, and you guys can see it's taking up my whole arm up to my elbow into this hole, and I want you guys to see the hole. This is 2 independent pieces of sandstone here, and you can see that it just eroded, the water eroded away, and you can kind of look down in there. That thing goes down, and I stuck this bar down there, and it just kept going. We haven't hit the bottom of it. I'm grabbing a bar right now so you guys can see. So here's a bar going in, and the bar is about 3 feet long. And I can sink it into the hole, which I can't reach with my arm. And if you look at the bar, that's about only 6 inches showing out of the hole. I can't get all the way down there, but that is where we're pulling. You can kind of see it came out with some gravelly clay on it, and that's where we keep finding the big gold, is down in these cracks like this, and then the cracks open up into these pockets. And the pockets with the gold in it, you can see it's nicely eroded away. And this pocket here is a crack, and I dug down into there about as far as I could go, which is about 12 to 14 inches. And then that opened up right down in here, to another hole. So you can't see it in the video very well. The light's terrible, but pretty nice mining here, and it kind of shows you what we're doing, and it just takes a long time. So now we're going to work on this crack right here. I'll kind of show you what it looks like. This is what the crack looks like right now. It's just a crack coming off of that little slope into a pocket. We're going to clear all that out and see what it looks like after we're done.
We're right down here digging in this crevice, and there's gold literally laying right on the limestone here.
See it?
Jason's gonna pick it out for us. And there it is, right there. Like we say, it's not big. It's one of the little small ones, but you can see it right there, laying right there on the limestone.
Right here. Can you see it?
Yep. You can see it real nice.
Good.
All right.
All right, folks. What I wanted to show you is basically what we came in. We cleaned that out, and here's the mine with the waterfall, kind of give you perspective. And this was these are the cracks that we've been working back in here. You can kind of see that was that huge pocket, and it's got that little flow. And then it came to this huge pocket here. And in this pocket, it goes down. You can kind of see my arm way down there. And look at what the water flow did. It popped two big holes in this rock. Those are two rocks next to each other, and it eroded them out into these big holes. You can kind of see them in there. And then this goes all the way through. You can kind of see the tunnel that I dug through there. And it shoots the gold, collects in there. That was that pocket completely full of clay, and we dug all that out. All that pocket's right there out. And then it comes to the big rock right here. And that's it. We'll get back to you. Folks, I like to show you the nuggets when we find them, and this is actually a nice nugget. So we're digging into, we finished these cracks here, and I'm digging over here on the side into this other little pocket. And I'll bring you in here so you can see it. Hit me, tweezers. Okay, so you can kind of see the nugget right back in here. I was just digging out this crevice. And pick it up. That's a nice nugget. Hope you can see it. Yeah, look at that thing. Nice nugget. Good looking nugget. Anyways, get back to you later. Right, guys, we're done digging. I cleaned out down here where we call it the muddy boots area. That's basically where you stand. And it's the overflow coming off the waterfall and fills that back in. And we found some real good gold in here. But what we did is we took, here's the mine kind of as a reference in the waterfall. We went back up in here and I cleaned all these cracks out right here. And the big rock right here, we cleaned that crack out. Found some real cool pockets in here and a really deep pocket, which we found some nuggets. We'll kind of show you what we have there. But that's about it. That's about 3 hours of mining and digging into these cracks. I'm under the cliff here, so it's about 1.5 feet back in there, another 1.5 feet back in there, and some of the crevices that we cleaned out that are pretty cool. Some stuff already fell in there from the doggies, but anyways, that's it, and we will see how we do here, but we'll just kind of do a clean out. And as we clean out, I was going to do some panning techniques for you guys, we're finishing up. We cleaned all the cracks out, and I just wanted to give a really good friend of mine, Jim, I'm waiting for you to come with the family and the kids, and it's a real safe area. You don't have anything to worry about, but I'm inviting you to come out and do some gold mining with us. You take care, buddy.
Jason's hooking up the cart here. We've just come out of the mine. We're going to load all the buckets on the cart. Good day there at the mine, and we're going to start washing this stuff here pretty quick, and we'll keep you informed. Yeah, Jason's bringing the buckets out now. Of course, the dogs are playing, making sure he does it right. But it's a beautiful day out here, and we're just enjoying ourselves. And you can see We got the buckets, and we try not to fill them too full because all these buckets get water put in them. And we're loading them in. So that's what we do. Anyway, we'll get back at you.
Okay, folks, we're here at the trommel. We've already fed all of our buckets. We did 9 buckets altogether today. Clean those tracks out in the muddy boots area, the place where you stand. I know it's really loud. It breaks up all the clay, kind of like a washing machine. So we're all set up over here. We got the dogs laid out, but got the panning area set up right here to pan out the concentrates, and we'll show everybody what we get as we keep working forward.
Great time.
Hey everybody, we're cleaning out the trommel right now, getting all the rocks and everything out of it. And this is the whole day's worth of mining right here in the trommel. And most of the rock in here is what we put in. It was gravel that we put in to help break up the clay. So we're going to let the camera run for a little bit because I want you guys to be able to see some of the gold that is coming out of here. Doesn't look like we got any gold, so we'll probably just throw it into the gravel right here on the ground. There we go. There's some right there.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, look at that. Judy, bring the camera down here so they can see it. I'll move out of the... Can they see the gold right here? Bring it real close. See the gold all right in there? All that gold? Yeah. Yep. See that? That's all gold right there. So we did get a little bit of gold.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, look at that lip, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Look at, can you see that, Judy? Look at the lip. See all that? That's all gold right there. Try to wash it in there. Here, I'll tip the thing up a little further. Just keep it pointing in the back.
Look at it now.
Is it out?
No. Look at the gold now.
You see it? Is it out? Well, get it out. I'm holding the trommel.
That looks like about it. Go ahead, lay it down and turn it. See if we've loosened some more up. Oh yeah. There we go.
Boy, look at, there's a piece of gold right there.
Yep.
It just gets caught on that lip and doesn't want to go out. Wow, look at all that gold.
Yep. Yep.
I'll try to tilt it up again. turn it. Got it? And don't hit it right here, because that'll shoot it all out of there.
There's another.
Yep.
Yeah. But it's coming.
Dog's digging.
Look at the gold right there.
I know.
See it in the sun? Yep. Unbelievable. There we go. I think that's about it. Okay. I wanted to do some education on this video, and part of my education I want to show is the proper way to pan and the proper way to classify. I've been watching videos online and on YouTube about these guys jumping in the rivers or classifying their material, whether they're high banking or they're just panning, and they're always using just one classifier, and that's really not the right way to do it. I'm from the West Coast, from Oregon, been gold mining my whole life. My father was gold mining his whole life. We were basically educated by the gentlemen that make these products, whether it's the Garrett Gravity Trap gold pans or the companies that make the classifiers. And so the proper way to classify is you want to step down roughly between 1/8 to 1/4 inch at a time. And so you start with your 1/2 inch classifier, you got your 1/4 inch classifier, and then you got your 1/8 inch classifiers. And you use a bucket classifier, and you use a bucket classifier running water. So if you're going to classify material and you're at the river, you want to submerge your 5-gallon bucket in the river so it's completely underwater while you're classifying. I watch these guys take it and they're classifying, and they're taking a pan and dumping water over the top of it. Submerge your 5-gallon bucket in the water, run a stacking classifiers like this, and then that way when you dump your product in and it's underwater, the water's coming up through your classifiers and allowing it to sift through them. Then you can take one off at a time, check out the classifier. If it has any nuggets or any large gold, throw it out. Take off the next one, do the same thing. And what you're going to notice from this video is that as we start to do this, we're going to check each classifier, and we're going to see whether we get gold in the 1/2 inch, the 1/4 inch, or the 1/8 inch. And then that's really the proper way to do it. I watch these guys with 1/4 inch material. They're classifying in the river, or they're classifying it next to a river without submersing their 5-gallon bucket, and then they don't even look at it. They just throw it out. They don't know if they're getting a nugget or if the nugget's going overboard. All they're looking for is the 4 little flakes they get for panning all day. So I'm trying to do some education so the folks that don't know how to pan, don't know how to classify, and you want to get out there for the first time, you're actually doing it correctly. And what I'm finding is on the internet, there's a lot of folks out there that are doing it. They've never been taught, and maybe this is a good education for them, that this is really the right way to do it. And I was taught by the manufacturers of the products how to use them. So I hope this helps, and this is informational for everybody. Okay, so we're going to start classifying our concentrates out of our trommel. All we got, if you can look right here, all we got is about a 1/2 bucket. And most of that gravel you see in there is the gravel that we put in it to help break down the clay. We use laundry soap and gravel, and it helps break down that clay. So if you watch, we're going to just kind of show you the right way of classifying material, whether you're in the river or you're on land or you're doing it off of a high banker. This is the way you should be doing it. A little bit more pop. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the large stones from the 1/2 inch, and we're going to basically dump them in the bucket so we can go through them later and see if there's gold nuggets the size of a 1/2 inch piece or not. But what you do is we're just going to take out the really big screen right now. then basically what you got left is you got the 1/4-inch screen here, and you got the 1/8-inch screen. As you can see, there's hardly anything in those. So we're gonna leave them back in, and we're gonna keep classifying. That's good. I just wanted to pick out some things to kind of show you guys this material we're mining in. You can see how heavy. These are big pieces of iron. You can see the little squares of iron in it. This is actually coming out of the northern part of the United States. And we're finding a lot of that here, which is coming out of the glacier melt, that when it melted. So all we're doing is just kind of keep classifying this material down. You got your bigger pieces. I take the big chunks out, throw them out here in my rock pile. And then we kind of look through it, see what's in the 1/2 inch. We save it all. We don't throw it out because we last 2 years ago when we were classifying like this, we found a 1/2 inch gold nugget that didn't go through these cracks. So everything I watch on TV, on YouTube and whatnot, I watch them take this 1/2 inch and they just throw it back in the river. They don't even look. 2 years ago, we found a nugget that was large enough that didn't go through our 1/2 inch. And that would have made a normal person sick throwing it back into the river. So that's one reason we keep it. We don't throw it away, because we will sort through that later. Well, I want you to bring it over here. Take a look at this. I want you to see something. This is the 1/4 inch, and I'm gonna get it into the sun. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Look at this nugget we just found. That's in the 1/4 inch screen that I keep watching people. Look at that piece of gold. It's still got the clay all embedded in it, and look at that piece of gold. Now this is what I keep seeing people classifying, and you can watch YouTube video after video and then throw that back in the river. And all they're doing and then is panning out under the 1/4 inch, and I just found that in my 1/4 inch sluice. Look at that piece. That's a nice heavy nugget. And so what you want to do is you really want to go through this. So what I'll do is we'll take the nozzle and we're going to keep washing the 1/4 inch down, because you can see that there's other fines in it. So then we'll kind of look through this. I don't typically throw away my 1/4 inch fines at all, ever. And you can tell why. We just picked out a nugget that didn't get through the 1/4 inch classifier. And again, I know I'm being repetitive, but I can't tell you how many times on YouTube, and you guys can watch yourself, folks are just classifying and they chuck it. They don't even look in it. And I just found a nugget that'll fit that 1/4 inch size. And so that's one reason I don't throw away my classifications when we're mining. And that's why I wanted to do this YouTube video, because I wanted to teach folks the right way to classify, because I keep watching folks doing it, and I don't understand why they're throwing away their classifications when they can have the gold in them. So I'm going to grab another bucket here, and I'll be back with you in just a second. You good? Okay, so we're continually classifying right now. We're at the last of our bucket. I think this will be the last of it. Here, I'll pour it in and you can wash it into the classifier. Again, what I'm trying to teach is the proper way of classifying. And you're going to see in this video that we just found a nugget that didn't go through the 1/4 inch classifier. And again, all these videos that are on YouTube, these folks are just chucking away their 1/4 inch classifications. And that's where you could be finding gold nuggets, and they're losing them. And I just don't want any folks that are out there mining you get lucky and you find that 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch, or even like we did 2 years ago, we found a 1/2 inch gold nugget. And if you're just chucking that away back into the river without looking at it, then you're basically losing the opportunity to get a really nice gold nugget. So what we run here is a triple classification system. You can see that we basically we take the 1/2 inch, the 1/4 inch, and the 1/8 inch and stack them. And you just shake them. And this whole bucket's full of water. So the whole 1/4 inch, or the 1/8 inch, is actually underwater now. And by classifying it like this, it allows us to clean off every single layer, all at the same time, and we get it inspected. We're just not taking it and throwing it back in the river without looking at it. So all I do is I come and quickly inspect I pull out some of the big rocks I know aren't going to be, and then I do save the rest of the material, and I go through that later. We actually lay that out on a piece of plywood, and we actually go through it later. And then here's your 1/4 inch material. You guys just seen me pull out a nugget out of the 1/4 inch material. And what I try to do is at least glance through the 1/4 inch material. You never know what you're going to find, because once in a while, sometimes it even gets caught along the crack here. And these cracks, you can see where your mesh meets the plastic. Sometimes you find gold trapped in the outside pieces just because of the way you shake it. So what we do is we go through it pretty quickly. If we don't see anything, then what we do is we put that back in a separate bucket. So we have the 1/2 inch classification, then you have the 1/4 inch classification. We kind of dump that back in here. And then if you come up here, this is the 1/8 inch classification. Now, this is where we find a lot of gold nuggets, simply because it's an 1/8 inch class. Oh, here's one right here.
Yep.
Here, if you come up here, it's a nice little, it's a flake. It's a big flake. I don't know if you folks can see that. You can get up real close to it, Judy. If you guys can see that, that's a nice little flake. Kind of looks like a little arrowhead right there. Nice little piece of gold. So the 1/8 inch classification is really where we find our best nuggets. And who's in the sun there? Just step outside a little bit there. There you go. And we're just gonna kind of go through our 1/8 inch classification and kind of pan through it. But this is where we oh, there's another piece. Do you see that one right there? See that one? That's a nice little nugget right there. Look at that.
Nice picker.
So you go through your 1/8 inch classification, and you can see most of what we have in our classification is iron. You can see all that red iron that's real heavy. A lot of times we'll find BBs in here. Most of the time the BBs do go through the screen, but you do find them in here once in a while. So you go through the 1/8 inch classification real slow, because this is where really you'll find the nuggets. And we find most of our nuggets right here, actually. Oh, there's another one. Do you guys see that one right there?
Yep.
That's a nice little piece. Still has all the clay embedded in it. That's a nice piece right there. Nice picker. And then you just keep going through it. And I'm sure I missed a piece or two. So we never, ever throw this part away. This is where we keep finding the gold. We've been through it sometimes twice, 3 times, and you find another piece here or there. So we don't get rid of our 1/8 inch classification. We actually repan this out. But that's about all I see right now. I don't see any more big chunks of gold. It's kind of fun going through your 1/8 inch class. Oh, here's another piece. I don't know if you guys can pick that up. Can you pick that up, Judy? Get in really close. The camera needs to get real close to that. See that one? But can't get it with the sun in it. Here, I'll put
Pick
it
it
on
out
there.
of there.
Oh. There we go. There's another piece. That's a nice little picker. Now that didn't go through the 1/8 inch classifier. And that's why one reason I talk about making sure you look at your classifications. Because again, I do see a lot of people throwing away this stuff right off the river without even, whether you're on a river or you're high banking or whatever, they're just throwing it away. I don't have to tell you what they're doing. You guys can watch it on YouTube yourself. And I'm just trying to teach you guys how to do it right, so that way nobody loses anything. So we're going to keep that. We'll go back through this again later. We'll go back through all the 1/8 inch classification later. And now that we got the concentrates right there, we're going to start panning it out, and I'll kind of show you guys. I'm going to educate you on panning. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm basically just filled my pan up with the, this is the classification from 9 buckets of clay, and you can see that there's just not much material here. There's a little bit of material. What I like to do is I like to wash the material around my gold pan a little bit, and it just helps kind of loosen it all up so that it allows the gold to vibrate down to the bottom in that panning method I was showing you. So basically you vibrate it down, you kind of push, get that gold to vibrate to the bottom, and then you try to wash off your light material off the top. When your riffles get full, you just repeat, and you just keep doing that. And it works the gold down to the same spot, and you don't lose anything. All you're doing is washing that light material off. You don't swirl it in your pan. Absolutely do not swirl it in your pan. All that does is push the gold from the edges over the top of your riffles. So you just kind of keep working it down. You can see how that light material comes off pretty easy. And you can see how some of the iron material staying right where I want it to stay, and then what we try to do is just peel off that light material. And you just keep doing it. The more times you stop and vibrate it down, the more chance that you're not going to lose gold, because the gold's working its way to the bottom of the pan, into that bottom riffle that runs along the bottom of your pan. You want it to lay right against that ridge, and that way you don't really lose it. And then you just pan off the light material. You can see how I got quite a bit of iron deposits coming up in there, and that's really heavy stuff around here, is that iron material. You can see some of the gold coming up in there, so I have a feeling it's going to be a pretty good pan. We're going to take a peek in the pan here real quick, because I got gold popping up on the, I got gold coming up on this edge and this edge. So I kind of want to see what the gold's doing before I keep panning. So if you'll bring the camera up here, I'll kind of wash some of this away. You can see the gold starting to come up on both sides. Wow, that is a good pan, folks. This is, wow, you can really see the gold coming up. So it kind of did what I wanted it to do. It all pushed itself right there in the bottom ridge. So we'll just keep panning it down and see what we get. that's pretty much all I'm gonna get out of there right now. So you can take a look at what we got. It looks pretty rich to me. You can see all that gold that pulled up in this corner. And it's pulled up with the lead shot too. I'll pull that back. Get that lead out of there. Wow, that's really nice gold. You can kind of see how the gold kind of fans out there. Now, like I said, I've been watching some videos, and they'll get 2 or 3 of these flakes, or 5 or 6 flakes, and they think they've really hit gold. And this is out of 5 half buckets and 4 medium buckets, you know, about 3/4 of the way full. And we dug out the cracks of the mine, and this is kind of what we found. And we have the nuggets, and we're going to weigh them all out tonight and kind of tell you what we got. But I think that's a pretty nice pan, and for a beautiful day out today with my dad and us having a good time, I hope you take a little bit of the information I gave you and try panning yourself. And please understand that the way other guys pan, that's fine. I don't know where they learned how to do it, but I don't want you guys to lose gold. And the only way not to lose gold is to vibrate your gold to the bottom of your pan. By swishing it around, you're guaranteed to lose gold. So I hope this helped a lot. I hope the new miners out there get out there and do some mining. And this is a nice about 4 or 5 hours worth of gold mining here, and what we got in the gold nuggets. Thanks.
Folks, this is our cleanup from yesterday, and it is really, it's just kind of an average cleanup. We didn't really work too hard. Out of 4.5 buckets, there was about 1 pan full, as Jason was showing you yesterday. It was productive for what we done, and we didn't have to work really too hard. We were a little tired, so we relaxed the rest of the day. But this is really nice, and the gold we do get is really very, very, I call it shiny, pure. We know the purity of it. It's anywhere from 91% to 95%. If he'll bring that camera over here, we'll show you. We have some pickers up here at the top that we got, and of course there's a load of fines down there. And this is 4 grams. That picker,
Put the pin in there.
let me show you right there. That picker right there weighs 1 gram even. And we didn't weigh the rest of them, but there you go. And all of this combined is 4 grams, which we don't consider too bad for a lovely afternoon of just him and I doing some together time and mining. And we really love it. And we don't do this for the income. We do this for the pleasure and just sharing it with everybody. But we want to thank you for viewing. We'll be back at you at another time. Thank you.